back to another episode of Adoptions from the Heart TV. I'm your host, Ananda Aliberti. Oftentimes people wonder how adoptive families connect with open adoption, and today we're going to be sitting down with an adoptive parent named Victoria who's going to talk about how she initially was not really on board with open adoption and then transitioned into actually really wanting it. Now let's turn to Victoria.
We adopted two children with adoptions from the heart, and the two experiences were very different. When I signed up with the agency the first time, they brought up the idea of open adoption, and I did not like the idea. I was super fearful. They actually gave me a book about open adoption. I didn't make it through the first chapter, and I just closed it and put it away. It was something I didn't know anything about, and it brought a lot of fears to me. I feared the open adoption because, first of all, because I didn't know anything about it, and you fear the unknown. And second, because I wanted that child to be only mine, and if I shared almost this child with another parent, I felt selfishly that this child was not going to be mine. It was going to be shared. I don't know. It sounds ridiculous now, but honestly, that's the way I felt back then. So then, our first daughter, Felipa, was born, and we got placed, and then our adoptions with her started not as open, but through the first months of her life, it became an open adoption, and I was able to get in touch with Sarah, her biological mom, and we started creating this relationship that grew very naturally and organic, and all of a sudden, I realized, okay, open adoption seems to be a very good thing. So now I have a very good relationship with Sarah, and we have our cell phones, we text pictures, it's good. So 2 years later, we signed up for a second adoption. This time around, we're hoping it's going to be an open adoption because we realized how wonderful it is and how good it is for our daughter. So we want our second kid to have an open adoption. But the second time around, Penelope is born. It's an emergency placement. We go into the hospital and we find out that Megan, her biological mother, does not want to have any openness. She wants a closed adoption. And it was actually a little bit disappointing for us because we had learned about the goodness of openness for our daughter. So we felt a little sad that with Penelope, our second baby, we were going to have a closed adoption, and it wasn't our choice. So months went by, and when she was about 9 months, all of a sudden we hear from the agency, and they tell us that Megan actually reached out, and she wanted to see her pictures, and she wanted to see her letters, and all of a sudden we had a feeling of like relief because now we have some openness. Now we can tell Penelope that her mom reached out, and she wants to know her, and she wants to know of her, and so it's so interesting to me how I personally went from I don't want an open adoption to like, well, I really want an open adoption. So my perspective of openness shifted 180 degrees in like 2 or 3 years. So I think it's because you become a mom and you realize all you want is the best for your kid, and then you realize that openness is actually such a good thing for your child and your family.
Thank you so much, Victoria, for being open and honest about your story and connection to open adoption. We're hopeful that this will help other families that are interested. Thanks so much, and tune in next week.